Angel, Holy Sea Angel, symbolizing the highest existence in the great thousand worlds, akin to the law enforcers above all. It was once rumored in the great thousand worlds that the angel clan existed beyond the heavens and the earth. They acted alone, ruling with an iron fist, unbound by the constraints of the mortal world. They resided in the angel kingdom, and few in the great thousand worlds knew the way to this domain. What humans knew was that there was a faction in the great thousand worlds that served the angels. They worshipped the angels, spreading their virtues across the world. They also carried out tasks for the angels, and if their contributions were sufficient, they might ascend to the angel kingdom, receiving the angels' blessings and, with a slim chance, attain immortality. That faction was the Holy See. The term angel represented the highest judgment in the world. Within the Holy See, their status was second only to the Archbishop and the Pope. Even in the great thousand worlds, they were unbound by any other faction. An angel? I never imagined I would attract one to manifest before me. At this moment, as he looked at the angel shining like a deity within the pentagram formation, the demon Mar grinned widely. His face showed no fear but rather a hint of excitement. His expression twisted into a manic smile. I am a Xun'er, a traveling angel, spreading good and punishing evil, the winged angel said calmly. With barely a flick of her wings, the countless dark green demonic energies in the lair were instantly obliterated, disintegrating into Buddhist chants that faded into the world. At this moment, divine might surged, as if a true deity was reading a judgment against the demon Mar. Angel, long ago, when I was just a mere sin guard, I longed to personally visit you. At this moment, demon Mar let out a series of eerie laughs. When he was still weak among the sinners, he had witnessed angels annihilating not only demonic beasts, but also innocent lives in their pursuit of destruction, which included Mar's own family. Since then, killing angels became Mar's most frenzied desire. I am the messenger of God, carrying out his will. Today, demons appear, and none of you shall escape judgment. The angel Makar seemed unhurried. With a glance, a divine light shot out, blasting toward Mar. Her peripheral vision, however, lingered for a moment on the evil cauldron resting upon the demonic tree, indicating that she had some other intentions regarding the demon fruits. Ha ha ha. A Holy Sea angel actually graces my humble abode. If I don't treat you warmly, will the world call me Mar, fifth sin warden, too cold-blooded? Without further words, Mar casually waved his hand, sending a dark green beam to intercept, carrying a fierce attack that left one breathless. Boom! The scorching holy light clashed with the dark green demonic energy, and immediately a tremendous sound echoed in the air. It was like a direct collision between a curtain of light and a world of darkness. Endless divine aura and evil power poured out from both the traveling angel Makar and the demon Mar, shaking the entire space as if it would shatter at any moment. Are these two crazy? Do they want to destroy this place? Watching the battle unfold in midair between the traveling angel and the demon, Soul Flame and Soul Wuji braced themselves, casting a protective black mist around their bodies. But the angel's power easily neutralized the black mist, and at this rate, the two could only face certain demise. Seems like this so-called traveling angel has her own ulterior motives. At this moment, Xiao Yan stood atop the dark nether soldier's shoulder. The dark nether soldier erupted with a burst of dark energy to shield them, awaiting Xiao Yan's orders. When Xiao Yan entered the devil's nest, he had sensed a trace of divine aura but did not know it was the angel. Now that they were nearing the final stage of capturing Mar, the angel finally revealed herself. Just moments ago, Xiao Yan noticed her brief glance at the two remaining demon fruits in the evil cauldron. He couldn't help but speculate. I must get my hands on the demon fruits. A frenzied thought surged in Xiao Yan's mind. Taking advantage of the ongoing battle in the skies, he quietly approached the evil cauldron. Boom! The clash between the two 8-star Do Xian level combatants stirred a massive storm within the entire lair. Numerous dark winds swept through, and destructive energy rippled around them. An 8-star Do Xian demon, just relying on some dark objects and lowly means, Makar commented after the brief exchange. She returned to the pentagram formation above, basking in the holy light, while Mar appeared atop a branch of the evil tree. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Divine light of the sacred blaze, judgment. Seeing the small movements of the demon Mar, Makar sneered coldly. In an instant, 5-pointed star formations around him blazed with intense heat. His white wings fluttered lightly, and a pure white holy sword, surrounded by countless angelic feathers, rose like a pillar that could touch the heavens. With a single swing, it effortlessly cleaved through the entire nest space. Demonic power. Seeing Makar immediately unleash the angelic judgment power, Mar, the demon, showed no hesitation. His dark green blood boiled violently, like an erupting volcano, spewing out countless dark green evil energy. It spread across the entire nest like the breath of a massive dragon, engulfing everything. Mar, stop struggling. Otherwise, not a single living creature in this devil's nest will escape today. With the holy sword behind him, Makar's powerful voice pierced through the entire nest. It's a pity that I can't slaughter angels this time, but I believe the next time we meet, someone will truly annihilate you. Squeak, squeak, squeak. At this moment, feeling the intense heat of the holy sword above him, Mar's eyes gleamed with determination. His skin began to burn like ice meeting raging fire, turning into a puddle of blood. Master, we've failed again. Watching this scene, Jiama and several Sin envoys behind him looked on with complex expressions. They shook their heads as they gazed at Mar's current state. To think that an evil being would fall to his own research experiments, it's truly laughable. But even so, I will bring your soul and corpse back to the Holy See to face the most brutal tortures in the Great Thousand Worlds. You heretics, your sins are unforgivable. Looking at the scene of Mar's fall, Makar smiled coldly. After a brief moment, his delicate, fair hand raised lightly, and with a single motion, countless energies within the nest writhed violently. The entire world seemed to fall silent, and the pure white holy sword was forcefully pulled from the air. His beautiful eyes locked onto Mar, and a divine judgment force that could be witnessed by all the heavens surged through the void. No, you've all misunderstood. The demonic experiment succeeded. However, the demon fruit I devoured wasn't ripe, so I'm not a true demon. But, to create a purer demon bloodline, I am willing to sacrifice my life. At this moment, the dark green evil mist around Mar, nourished by his blood, roared like a horde of unforgivable demons, laughing maniacally, and in a frenzied state, he roared towards Makar. Jama, take the rest, you know what to do. In his final moments, Mar's voice reached Jama, and the entire space transformed into a true hell. In the nest of dark green evil mist, a pure white holy sword, filled with divine aura, sliced through the entire space. Although other energies lingered, the entire space suddenly crumbled and shattered in horror. The entire void of the devil's nest was enveloped in dark green evil mist, obscuring the view of countless people, as though it was a true demonic purgatory. However, high in the sky, the 5-pointed star formation's sacred light converged once again. The judgment holy sword, empowered by angelic wings, slowly began to clear the evil mist. Once the mist was removed, it seemed that the end would come for other creatures as well. Wait, the evil cauldron. It's gone? At this moment, Xiao Yan stealthily climbed to the top of the evil tree, intending to take the evil cauldron and 2 demon fruits inside it to escape. But he exclaimed in surprise. It's too late. Over there. At this moment, taking advantage of the battle between Mar and Makar, a dark nether soldier followed Xiao Yan. Upon hearing Xiao Yan's words, his dark eyes fixed on an empty hole at the bottom of the nest. Originally, this space had been completely sealed off by Makar. But after Mar's self-sacrifice, a weak exit emerged in an inconspicuous part of the nest. Damn it! Xiao Yan looked up and saw Jiama and the Soul Flame Soul Wuji, along with the 2 other Sin envoys, directly entering the hole. Even on Jiama's ugly hand, 2 demon fruits, as red as agate, slowly stood, and the passage light door immediately closed, sealing the nest into a completely enclosed space. At this moment, Jiama disregarded the other Sin envoys and took the 2 demon fruits with him, while the 2 soul palace masters pursued him. Meanwhile, one of the demon fruits quietly matured. Is this hell? In the sky, Maykar continued to battle Mar with overwhelming superiority, but victory was only a matter of time. Below the nest, a fine drizzle began to fall, and the thousands of humans remaining under control on the mountain appeared as insignificant as ants. Slowly, they started to awaken. Among them were some noble and powerful figures from the royal family. After receiving the antidote, Ji followed Mar's method of using evil rain, expanding the antidote with his wood attribute, and to his surprise, it showed results in no time. At this moment, the humans who had just awakened felt weak and drained, their internal energies nearly depleted. However, when they saw Maykar in the sky, holding the sacred sword like a divine ruler, and the sinister dark green mist in the surrounding space, a wave of fear washed over them. This bastard! At this moment, Xiao Yan couldn't help but curse under his breath, for Maykar still did not know that the 2 demon fruits had disappeared. She was slowly wearing down Mar's remaining strength, and judging by her posture, she clearly would not spare anyone present. Xiao Yan, what should we do now? After rescuing the unconscious humans, Ji approached Xiao Yan and asked. Behind him were several men and elders dressed in luxurious clothes, their demeanor noble and unmistakably not ordinary. The purpose of the Xun'er, is clearly not just to eliminate demons. Now that the demon fruits are lost, she will surely be enraged. All of us here, including you and me, will be completely doomed. Xiao Yan's pupils contracted tightly, his expression more serious than ever. I know the seriousness of the situation, Xiao Yan, Ji said, his eyes revealing a glimmer of bloodlust as he kneeled heavily. But among these unconscious humans, many are loyal to Princess Lin Yunshu. I hope you can help me, even if it costs my life. Is it worth it? Xiao Yan was startled, his voice soft as he asked, his expression showing hesitation. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? The question echoed in Ji mind like a demon's final salvation, the last thread of hope from the depths of hell, repeating over and over again. Yes, Ji said firmly, his voice resolute. His eyes gleamed with a rare, ethereal light. He feared neither life nor death. He would fight for the chance to help her win, even if it meant falling into an endless abyss of damnation. So what? At worst, he would lose a worthless life. But when he thought of how the princess, once carefree like a little princess, was now troubled by the election, Ji clenched his fists tightly. Princess, what is your relationship to her? Looking at Ji expression, Xiao Yan seemed to have figured something out and asked. Well, she is my secret crush. Ji didn't avoid it this time, and faced Xiao Yan directly. She's a man, just tell me straight. She's the one I love. What? Say it louder, I can't hear you. She's my wife. The 2 of them, on the brink of death, chatted and laughed as they spoke. You go take care of these guys. Leave the rest to me. But remember, we only have one shot. And you'd better come back alive. I'm still waiting to drink your wedding wine. Xiao Yan said nonchalantly. After speaking, he led the dark nether soldiers, striding towards Maykar high above. This journey may cost him his life, but as long as there's a glimmer of hope, Xiao Yan would never give up. Thanks. At this moment, warmth spread in Ji heart. He had often heard Qin speak of a senior brother she admired, and he guessed that this must be the one in front of him. The greater the power, the greater the responsibility. Xiao Yan chuckled bitterly as he stepped towards the angel, originally only intending to help the princess. Little did he know, he had uncovered such a massive conspiracy. A conspiracy that might cost him his life. Boom. Mar abandoned all his strength and cultivation, deliberately transforming into pools of blood to buy time for Jia Ma to escape. But he also aimed to take the remaining 2 demon fruits with him. He knew that, as a half-demon now, he had no chance against the Xun'er. It's over. Holy judgment, soul binding. As the surrounding dark green blood mist thinned, Makar spoke softly, like the voice of death itself. Boom! The powerful holy sound descended, like ancient servants praising a great leader. The sacred sword, surrounded by countless white feathers, radiated holy light and shot towards the last dark green blood mass left by Mar in the nest. Hope the 2 demon fruits can give birth to a true demon, then it will not have been in vain. Blast it for me. At this moment, the dark green blood mass, which was barely a few meters in size and forced by the holy Meng, violently contracted like a heart, then suddenly expanded. Finally, with a sharp, piercing sound, it exploded within the nest. The self-detonation power of Mar in his semi-demon state and the sacred judgment sword of the Xun'er, patrolling angel, which one will triumph, is still unknown. Boom! In the sky, the fierce battle between 2 ancient gods had reached its final, most intense stage. Clang! Clang! The sacred sword writhed, countless pure white feathers surrounding it like sharp peaks, sending ear-piercing vibrations through the entire space while stabbing at the hearts of everyone in the nest below. Boom! The explosive demonic energy surged like a deathly wave, shooting directly towards the sacred sword. In an instant, within the explosion of the dark green demonic energy, countless eerie demonic forces filled the space. Coldness, death, fear, and madness to the extreme, mixing into an unnatural, chaotic power. This was the true power of a demon, the emotion they should possess. The glow of fireflies is unworthy of competing with the brilliance of the full moon. Seeing Mar, in his final moments, using the last of his blood to self-detonate, relying on his demonic nature to sacrifice himself in an attempt to destroy and kill her, Makar sneered disdainfully, her beautiful face showing contempt. Crash! The energy ball created by the dark green demonic cloud from the self-detonation was effortlessly torn apart when it touched the sacred sword, the green energy vanishing as quickly as a moth flying into the flame. One strike, just one strike, and the self-detonation power of Mar in his semi-demon form was completely destroyed by the sacred judgment sword of the angel. Now, it's time for harvest. After eliminating Mar, Makar casually waved her hand, and Mar's power and aura vanished without a trace, completely perishing here. Instantly, the void around them brightened again, bathed in the scorching light of divine holiness, and the entire nest was filled with a divine aura. Where is the evil cauldron? The demon fruit. Where is it? At this moment, Makar's beautiful eyes glanced toward the crown of the evil tree, her holy pupils showing a flicker of agitation. An extreme rage surged, erupting like a volcanic explosion, within the nest. Makar had been tracking this demonic experiment for hundreds of years, preparing for this moment not only to capture Mar but also to seize the demon fruits to bring back to the Holy See. However, the 2 demon fruits, which were so close at hand, had inexplicably disappeared. Something's wrong. This demon must be behind it. With a casual glance, Makar spotted a faint, inconspicuous space at the bottom of the nest. Combining that with Mar's decision to sacrifice himself, turning into blood and ultimately self-detonating, it was clear that he had done all this to buy time for his subordinates to escape, and naturally, the demon fruits had been taken by them. You, assist the evil, and perish beneath the light of the gods. Makar, through a faint passageway, seemed to sense the escape route of Jiama. She smiled lightly, and the 5-pointed star formation around her body became like a meat grinder, radiating endless divine light. She wants to destroy this place. Several powerful Sin envoys, seeing this scene, turned pale and exclaimed in horror. A mighty angel, who prides herself as a divine messenger maintaining the world's order, when did she become such a ruthless killer of the innocent? At this moment, Xiao Yan and the Dark Nether Soldier appeared in Makar's line of sight. My actions don't require your interference. This is the nest of a demonic experiment. You people have been tainted by demons, and your souls have already rotted beyond saving. What I am doing is redeeming you. You should be grateful and thank me, not try to bargain with me like beggars. Makar found this somewhat amusing. The man before her actually tried to act as a savior, redeeming others. Didn't he know that he couldn't even save himself? A mere 5-star Xian, even with a dark nether soldier, was like an ant in her eyes. She could crush him at will. Seems like the so-called angels are not much different after all. No wonder Mar hated you so much. At this moment, Xiao Yan didn't want to waste any more time with Mei Kar. He knew that the devil's nest would undoubtedly be destroyed by her, even if that meant sacrificing thousands, or tens of thousands of innocent humans and sea beasts. So what? She was an angel, a maintainer of order in the world. Even if her methods were flawed, who in the world would dare to judge or defy her? To destroy this place, you'll have to step over my dead body first. Taking a deep breath, even with the protection of the dark nether soldier's power, Xiao Yan could still sense an overwhelming deathly aura coming from the angels. Turning to face the bustling crowd behind him, Xiao Yan said with ease, "It's fine. Let's see what you've got." Boom. Suddenly, the dark nether soldiers around Xiao Yan erupted, their dark radiance bursting forth like the most loyal servants swearing allegiance to their master. Meanwhile, the blazing amber soul flame on Xiao Yan's body easily overpowered the divine glow of the angel. In an instant, the vast space previously filled with angelic white light was completely dispelled and covered by the sacred flame of soul. Sacred flame power? Since you seek death, I will grant it to you. After your death, I'll personally cut you open and take the sacred flame away. Seeing the amber flames on Xiao Yan, Mei Kar's expression finally turned joyful. Though this carefully planned scheme was completely ruined by Mar's self-detonation, capturing the sacred flame was enough to alleviate the loss. As Mei Kar spoke, her holy wings fluttered behind her like a divine being descending into the mortal realm, her body surrounded by immaculate white feathers, sacred and untouchable. Her moon-white boots shimmered with countless rays of holy light as she lightly raised her hand and casually pointed at Xiao Yan, as though looking down on him from the heavens. Whoosh! Xiao Yan, feeling the overwhelming pressure, instinctively felt the sacred flame around him protect him. He took a deep breath, his eyes cold as he stared at Mei Kar. Xiao Yan. At that moment, Ji Xian suddenly spoke, his voice sharp. Many humans below, heading toward the only exit, looked up in shock, witnessing the battle between what seemed like gods and mortals. They stood frozen in place, unable to comprehend what was happening. It seemed clear without any thought that Xiao Yan, standing on the dark nether soldiers, would soon be pierced through by the angels and erased from existence. Your journey is still long. Let me handle this for now. As countless holy auras around the angels converged into a pillar of light no thicker than an arm, shooting toward Xiao Yan, a voice, as deep as a sleeping dragon's roar, slowly echoed from the imperial flame ring on Xiao Yan's finger. Yes, Master, please. The next time I encounter her, I will personally handle her. Xiao Yan's mind slightly closed as his soul retreated into the soul sea, relinquishing control over his body. Crack! In an instant, Xiao Yan's pupils became dazzling, and an immense divine power, surpassing that of the angels, poured out of his seemingly frail body like a torrential downpour. He raised his hand and struck the sacred pillar of light, which should have obliterated him, leaving countless cracks to appear and, in the blink of an eye, reduce it to dust. At this moment, the tide of battle changed once again. This, Mei Kar, who had once looked down on Xiao Yan as if he were an insignificant ant, now found his eyes filled with an aura of power that seemed to have undergone a complete transformation. His presence and power seemed to dwarf hers. Mei Kar's proud expression slowly faded, replaced by surprise and confusion. Interesting. Moments later, Mei Kar landed softly on the nest's ground, her pure white wings gently flapping as she faced Xiao Yan evenly. However, Mei Kar's tone had changed. The aura emanating from Xiao Yan had stirred emotions in her that she hadn't expected. This guy is terrifying. At that moment, Ji Xian exhaled deeply, then without hesitation, quickly led the upper echelons and other innocent humans toward the only exit. They could not open the exit by their own strength. As Xiao Yan had said, the only chance to escape was if he made the opening, so they were heading there to wait. Angels, huh? It's been quite a while since I've encountered one. The dazzling pupils of Xiao Yan faded, and the amber flames around him receded, revealing a normal man, speaking quietly. I am Maikar, a wandering angel from the Holy See. You have colluded with evil, and now carry unknown evil power within you. I have the authority to pass judgment and erase you, along with everyone else in this nest. Hearing Xiao Yan's casual words, Maikar couldn't help but feel a chill in her heart. Her tone suddenly became strange, and she roared. Maikar, as a wandering angel, was once an exceptionally gifted human within the Holy See. After receiving a special blessing from the Red Cardinal of the Holy See, she gained angelic wings and became an angel, tasked with roaming the world to punish evil and uphold justice. And this honor is none other than the demon fruit. After becoming a Xun'er, Maikar investigated and discovered that Mar was secretly conducting demonic experiments. She carefully tracked down Mar, the fifth Sin Warden, for decades. Now, with the demon fruit experiment a success, as long as she brings either the demon fruit or Mar back to the Holy See, she will ascend to the angel kingdom. Even if it means erasing these innocent lives, she cannot let anyone know her true purpose. As long as she secures the demon fruit and enters the angel kingdom, what happens to these insignificant humans is irrelevant. They are lucky to become the foundation of her rise. How could they not be grateful? Now that the demon fruit is lost, Maikar is naturally burning with anxiety. However, the power within Xiao Yan feels as vast and turbulent as the starry sea, unsettling her mind. She can only quickly deal with Xiao Yan before continuing her pursuit of the demon fruit. As for the power within Xiao Yan, Maikar had once encountered it when she became an angel. It is a power possessed only by the eldest few in the angel kingdom. It is like a true divine seat, one that demands all to bow before it. However, regardless of everything, that power is now only residing within Xiao Yan's soul. Maikar will never allow the situation to spiral beyond her control. Any heresy or powers that surpass limits must be eradicated in the cradle. Enough with the nonsense. If it weren't for the old fools protecting your angel kingdom, this so-called angel kingdom would have long been fully under our control. Looking at Maikar, whose sacred aura kept surging, Xiao Yan smiled. You daring fiend. You blaspheme the gods of the angel kingdom, and this is your death sentence. At that moment, upon hearing Xiao Yan's unabashed words, Maikar finally lost her temper. The angel kingdom is supreme in their eyes. The very mention of any blasphemy sends their innate angelic power, ingrained in their bones, into uncontrollable rage, turning it into sharp blades that attempt to obliterate their enemies. My strength is limited. I can only withstand her first strike. The rest will be up to you. The soul of Tuasha, ancient emperor, which was attached to Xiao Yan's body, spoke to his consciousness. Master, don't worry. I will personally deal with her, Xiao Yan replied. By the way, Master, where exactly are you now? Xiao Yan, whose consciousness was ready to take control of his body, asked. Once you reach the 8-star rank, or step into that subtle boundary before advancing to the divine realm, you will know. But rest assured, I, along with those old immortals of the Xiao clan, are still alive. The gentle voice of Tuasha, ancient emperor, echoed in Xiao Yan's soul sea, but beneath that calmness was a hidden fury, sending a shiver through Xiao Yan's soul. Angels. Wings. In the name of Xun'er Maikar, I invoke the angel wings to slay all evil. In that moment, a milky white armor materialized around Maikar, enveloping her completely, transforming her into a true Valkyrie. Then, Maikar's expression shifted from initial caution to a sudden sense of release. It seemed that after casting this special divine inscription, the fate of this space lay entirely in her hands. In an instant, her high-pitched voice echoed, and her lips quivered slightly. With each movement, sacred sounds reverberated through the heavens and earth. Ancient, holy symbols flowed from her lips, encircling her body. Even her beautiful wings slowly spread and flapped, sending clouds of white dust into the air. The dust contained a power that seemed to defy heaven and earth. A mere Xun'er, yet she can unleash such terrifying power with only her wings. Truly, the world is filled with geniuses. You brat, Watch closely, Tuasha, ancient emperor, controlling Xiao Yan's body, exclaimed in awe before shouting at the void. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Just as the voice fell, the dark nether soldiers, seemingly receiving Xiao Yan's signal, swiftly retreated, heading toward the exit guarded by Xian and the others. It seemed like they were going to assist them. Meanwhile, on Xiao Yan's palm, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames silently appeared. Although you were severely injured after the first heavenly earth war, now, even if only 1/10,000th of your former brilliance can be unleashed, that is more than enough. At this moment, a thunderous sound, powerful enough to shatter the 9 heavens, erupted from Xiao Yan's mouth. Without giving Michael's angelic wings a moment to gather, he quickly grasped the ancient flame ruler. His eyes, filled with the brilliance of countless flames, turned toward the ruler. In an instant, a flash of light surged from his eyes. The moment the light entered the ancient flame ruler, its dark body instantly fragmented, revealing 11 distinct flames, each with its own color, which completely covered the ruler's surface. At the center of the ruler, the sacred inscription's radiance once again burst forth. Boom! A force that transcended heaven and earth quietly emerged. Heretical methods, to think you can temporarily imbue a regular weapon with the power of a divine artifact. Angel wings, annihilate all evil. Seeing Xiao Yan's bizarre actions, Michael sneered. Countless ancient words floated behind his wings, which suddenly expanded and transformed into 2 brilliant beams of angelic light, charging straight toward Xiao Yan. The power and destructive force were as if a death palace, built specifically to seal and destroy demons, had arrived. One touch, and it would likely reduce you to ashes, your body and soul utterly obliterated. Divine Eternal Ruler. Judgment. Xiao Yan, with a calm smile, raised the transformed heavy ruler with one hand and lightly waved it toward the incoming angelic wings. Boom! A burst of light, enhanced by the sacred inscription and accompanied by the 11 colorful flame patterns, erupted forth like a flood, unstoppable. Boom! The entire nest shattered completely. Countless space vortices appeared, like hungry evil spirits devouring everything. Once something was sucked into the vortices, there was no escape. Only death awaited. At this moment, heaven and earth dimmed, and all energy in the world became still. The attacks of the two reached their peak, resembling a battle between 2 divine realms, making one's heart tremble. The bottom of the already collapsed devil's nest was filled with chaos. The dark nether soldiers, including Xian and others, had already escaped through the exit, but the scene was in total disarray. The angelic holy light and the weakening sacred flame from Xiao Yan's firepower, together with the power of the divine artifacts, shook the entire space. The ground cracked apart like the end of the world. Evil trees and the remaining human sea beasts had no power to resist. They were completely crushed and annihilated by the waves of energy, their bodies and souls destroyed. In the space, the 2 angelic wings merged into one, transforming into a golden beam of light. With an unexplainable divine force akin to the laws of heaven and earth, they suddenly collided with the sacred fire ruler's light. Boom! A deafening sound and explosive energy ripples erupted, like a scene from the end of the world. Meanwhile, the golden pillar of light and the fire ruler's radiance stood in opposition, with no sign of either side prevailing. Bang, bang, bang. As the energy ripples from the clash spread, the few remaining humans and sin guards in the devil's nest, their screams barely beginning to form, were utterly erased by the waves of energy. The devil's nest was protected by a special barrier that blocked the probing of most powerful beings, also sheltering the sea beasts. This allowed the nest to remain unaffected by the outside world. But at this moment, under the fierce fluctuations of energy from both sides, the barrier shattered completely. The tragic, catastrophic energy tides, like the wrath of the gods, surged through the heart of the Devil's Sea territory, creating a massive whirlpool that extended 1,000 feet into the sky. The whirlpool, like a black hole, greedily devoured all life and sea creatures. Swoosh, swoosh. The attacks at the deepest part continued. The fire ruler's radiance danced, unleashing a destructive force that obliterated the golden light. Plop! Fresh blood suddenly flowed from Michael's mouth as he looked in disbelief at his own defeat. The ruler's power, having shattered his attack, seemed to vanish into nothingness. As a mighty Xun'er patrolling angel, he had actually lost? Retreat. At this moment, the entire Devil's Nest was overwhelmed by a massive surge of seawater. The space collapsed, and the water engulfed it. The secret base of Sin was utterly destroyed. As Tuasha Ancient Emperor muttered his last words, Xiao Yan took control of his body. His battle aura surged to the limit, combining with his explosive technique, as he quickly fled the area. The earlier strike had exhausted Tuasha Ancient Emperor's strength, but Xiao Yan now realized that the ancient flame ruler could evolve. Its true limit. But right now, Xiao Yan didn't have the time to think too much. The last attack had indeed been a victory for the Tuasha Ancient Emperor, but unfortunately, it hadn't dealt much damage to Meikar. If Meikar attacked again, Xiao Yan would truly be cornered. At this moment, something deeply imprinted within Xiao Yan's body began to tremble quietly. It was the power of lightning, gray thunder that surpassed the heavens and the earth. Boom! What a terrifying scene. Can a 5-star Docian really unleash something like this? Ji Xian and the others, who were escaping the sea area toward Water Abyss City with the help of the Dark Nether soldiers, looked toward the distant sea where a crack thousands of meters long had appeared. A sense of dizziness struck them. After a brief hesitation, Ji Xian quickened his pace. With the angels involved, Xiao Yan was definitely no match. He needed to go back and bring reinforcements. Trying to run? It seems like you have something interesting inside you. As a roaming angel, I order you to come with me back to the Holy See for investigation. If you refuse, I have the authority to erase you right here. I think, by now, that strange power of yours is gone, isn't it? At this moment, Meikar, whose body was still trembling violently, maintained a high-pitched tone, speaking to the illusory figure that had been quietly standing above the sea. No one answered Meikar. The shadow Meikar was watching remain silent. Toyed with, "Where do you think you're going?" Meikar sensed something was wrong and rushed toward the figure, only to find that it was just an ordinary human body, with a trace of Xiao Yan's primal essence hidden inside to confuse him. Clang! Ignoring the casualties from the battle within the Devil's Nest and the continuing spreading whirlpool in the sea, Meikar's speed soared as her angelic wings flapped. She turned into a streak of light and chased after Xiao Yan. At this moment, with the Devil's Nest disappearing, countless sea beasts in the area began to return to normal. However, their auras were weak, and they had no strength to resist. They were immediately sucked into the deep, bottomless whirlpool created by the two of them, their bodies reduced to nothing, their desperate roars and wails echoing across the entire sea. The black hole whirlpool continued to expand. Every time it advanced, it swallowed a 1,000-meter stretch of the sea, reaching the ocean floor. And it was still growing. If left unchecked, this black hole whirlpool would likely become a true calamity. Damn! That damn angel! Xiao Yan was desperately trying to flee, but he could sense the angel was closing in on him. He turned to look over his shoulder. A scene resembling a black hole vortex was rapidly approaching. In just a few minutes, the entire sea area had been devoured by it, with a tenth of the sea already consumed. If this continued, and the black hole's power continued to expand, it would soon become a true hell. No, this can't go on. This black hole whirlpool was triggered by the divine ruler's power and the angel's wings. Their combined strength has surpassed even the basic 8-star Docian. If left unchecked, the entire Tianqing continent will face an unprecedented crisis. I have to go back. It seemed Xiao Yan had made an extremely important decision. He took a deep breath, and his soul shadow emerged, the sacred flame enveloping his body. Even though this was caused by his actions, he could not ignore it. Because ahead of him was Water Abyss City. Xiao Yan didn't consider himself a person with grand ambitions, but he understood the principle of taking responsibility for one's own actions. If he didn't stop this in time, the black hole whirlpool would destroy and swallow everything here. Throwing yourself into the net? Huh. From a distance, Meikar smiled as she watched Xiao Yan turn back. Dispel the black hole whirlpool, and I'll let you return to the Holy See. Xiao Yan seemed to compromise with Meikar. Dispel the black hole whirlpool? You're mistaken. The land, humans, and even the sea beasts here are all tainted because of Mar. They cannot be saved and must be eradicated. And remember, all of this happened because you disobeyed the angels. This is all your fault, Meikar said, smiling. Then, she raised her white hand and lightly pointed at Xiao Yan. Thud. A bright white light transformed into a powerful force that sent Xiao Yan flying back several hundred meters. His bones made a crisp cracking sound, and there were moments when it seemed as if Xiao Yan would truly perish here. Since that's the case, let's die together. Xiao Yan, struggling to hold onto his body, which was now heavily injured, grinned. His smile was fierce and mad. As he spoke, his Do core violently trembled. The sacred flame, Soul Sea, Do core, Battle Soul, and many other powers erupted in an instant. Not bad for a little guy. No wonder my successor thinks about you day and night. Just as Xiao Yan was about to go all out, a rare gray lightning burst from within him, slowly unleashing a divine power that suppressed Xiao Yan. Reincarnation? At this moment, looking at the woman before him, surrounded by gray thunder and whose appearance was impossible to discern, Meikar felt a rare sense of helplessness and an almost reverent longing. Thunder Lord? Xiao Yan was also taken aback by the sudden scene. Though he understood that when he had helped Duan Qifei before, it was because of the Thunder Lord and the Thunder Emperor Sacred Codex. Given that, this scene wasn't entirely strange. With me here today, you won't be able to kill him. Release the black hole vortex now, unless you want things to escalate. The gray thunder, like a divine seat, hovered above the turbulent sea, and the Thunder Lord's avatar quietly chuckled. Forget it. With a creak, Meikar gently smoothed the black hole vortex away. I have good relations with some of the strong figures within the Holy See. I'll visit them personally in the future, the Thunder Lord said softly. Meikar shot Xiao Yan a vicious glance. I hope you're as lucky next time. I'll return those words to you. When we meet again, I'll tear off your angelic guise and see your decaying soul, Xiao Yan replied.